Cool. Right on. Cool. Yeah. All right. Neat. I'm live. Cool. All right. So I got too busy with the condensed timeline I had for all of my lawn projects during vacation. And unfortunately, that meant that I couldn't stick to my entire plan of wanting to make my 3 videos because today just took longer than I anticipated. I had to get a new battery for the lawn tractor. I had to get another new spark plug because the package that I bought only had one. I needed two, so I had to go get an extra spark plug. And then, excuse me. Then I had to finish. Well, not. I didn't even finish cutting up that mulberry tree that I got working on. And then, so I took care of most of that. But then I had to pick up everything I'd cut up, plus a tree that came down earlier in the winter during an ice storm. I had a mess of that left to pick up. So on top of that, I also felt like cutting the grass because I hadn't done that all season yet. And it looks like our soil temps will be trending in the upwards direction of being a little bit warmer, which is a good thing. So I didn't feel like I would stress out the plant too hard. And I felt like laying down some thick stripes. So with all that on top of just the condensed window, also with the draft being today, I should have probably pre-recorded my video and had it in the can. Sorry about that. Allergies. And I didn't want to try and shoot a video, edit a video, process the video, upload the video, make the thumbnail, all that jazz, because by then it would have been like right on the dot of like right when the draft was about to start. And that's just kind of pointless to me. On top of that, I also didn't want to upload during, or even not saying compete with, but I didn't want to upload during the Woodward Sports heavyweight show. Because if you guys aren't watching that, you need to be watching the heavyweights on Woodward Sports. They're legit one of my favorite shows to watch on like all the internet stuff. Oh, what's up? We got someone. Looks like we got somebody in here. I can't see. Oh, there we go. I can open up the live chat. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. But I decided to some messages such as may not be visible live chat. Oh, okay. I didn't want to do all the video work, so I just figured I'd go live for a little bit and just kind of chat and see what things are like on going YouTube live. I don't know how this really works out, so I don't even know who's here. I don't know how any of this shakes out. I can't read anything. I'm just kind of meandering, rambling while sitting here in my truck. And I was going to discuss the third route that I had planned the video for with the Lions. And obviously, I've been talking about it for fucking months now that like I think the Lions should trade out of 6. That's what I think should happen. And now more than ever, it's looking like more of a possibility. Give me a second here. I think it's more of a possibility now because for whatever reason, and I just did a video talking about how much I like Tyree Wilson. He is now trending to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And oh man, sidebar. We got to do something about this here, team. We got to do something about this. That's ridiculous. It's looking like Tyree Wilson is trending to go number 1 overall to Carolina. And as cool as I think that is, because I just did a video talking about Tyree Wilson, there has been a couple of medical reports that have come out, talked about how he's recovering from a foot injury, and the foot injury that he's recovering from, when you're that size of a person and you play the position he plays, excuse me, drink that coffee too fast, too much. There we go. That's a tremendous amount of pressure. and force that he has to put on that recovering foot. So for him to come back and play at the same level that he was playing at Texas Tech, which was a decent enough level, though there are some tape. If you go and watch Bijan Robinson highlights, you can see Tyree Wilson getting fucking bulldozed, man. So with his foot injury and the fact that he's not like that flash in a pan, not a lot of tape of him making these most like hyper athletic plays, I think it's a little bizarre that Carolina would take him number 1 overall, especially when you compare like a Will Anderson. You guys know how I feel about Will Anderson. So if Tyree Wilson goes 1 overall, then do the Texans decide to go quarterback, or are we looking at a total shakeup in the top 2 picks where you see hypothetically, you see Tyree Wilson go number 1 overall, Will Anderson number 2 to the Texans, which would be the smart play. I don't think that Stroud or Bryce Young really jump off the tape too great to me to justify being that guy in Houston. I think Houston's got too many problems they need to try and solve. And I think a Will Anderson solves those problems. And then you get to Arizona, right? So Arizona's going to be sitting there, and everything's going to be looking goofy to them because in all of the mocks, we've been seeing the quarterbacks go early. And I just did a video talking about how Arizona was the team to trade for the Lions to trade up to, or the only dancing partner to trade up with to be able to get Will Anderson. Well, now you look at like Will Anderson not even being on the board and all 3 of the big quarterbacks still being there. Arizona is not going to be drafting a quarterback by any real metric, right? I mean, they've got the little Keebler elf, Kyler Murray there running around, and they gave him a fat contract extension. So does Arizona then start fielding calls from, Atlanta, who needs quarterback help, or the Washington Commies, or any other team that needs quarterback help? And will they be able to make the offer? Do they have the capital to move up that far? So you look at potentially Arizona trading out, and we're just going to say for argument's sake that you see then the run on the quarterbacks. You see, we'll just say whoever is at 3 takes Bryce Young, okay, or CJ Stroud, and then Indy is they have massive hard on for Will Levis. They love them some mayonnaise in his coffee, shit on his upper lip. Will Levis. They can't get enough of Connor Cook 2.0. I'm willing. I'm probably going to make some prop bets that Will Levis will go to Indy, because that's just the Indy move right there. And really, if you look at Will Levis's tape, not this last year, but the 21 into 22 season, he actually looked a lot better than this last season. So I can understand some people's arguments, but again, I just think he's Connor Cook, man, and I don't want any of that smoke. I don't want any of that smoke at all. So Indy at 4, who's drafted? Seattle at 5, okay? So then you're looking at Seattle, and everybody's in play for Seattle. You could have Seattle go and pull the trigger on Jalen Carter. Fine. That is peaches and cream to me, man. You guys go ahead, take the Jalen Carter. Sorry, y'all, but man, this is why I have so many cuts in my videos, y'all, because I be burping just nonstop, just constant burping. So we're going to just say that Seattle's going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Jalen Carter. That's fine. Takes the pressure off of us, and we don't have anything to worry about. But then you're sitting at 6, okay? So you're sitting at 6, and there's still either a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud, right? Still sitting there, hypothetically. There's at least an AR-15 sitting there. Brad Holmes starts getting phone calls, right? And Brad Holmes starts getting phone calls from people. Who's he start getting phone calls from? You need a dancing partner to trade out with. And honestly, I think the best possible scenario for us is there are 2 callers that I would expect to hear from. And number 1 would be Philly, okay? And I believe Philly's sitting at the 10th pick. So if Philadelphia calls, they really want to trade up and go after Skoronski or a Paris Johnson. I think that maybe if they are going to be aggressive, there's somebody that they really want. There's no receiver. They could theoretically, just hang here with me on this. So Philadelphia calls, right? Philadelphia calls and Brad Holmes is like, hey man, what do you want? And they're like, well, look, we are in love with Christian Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon, whomever. Insert top 10 projected corner, right? They're like, we love him, can't get enough of him. Brad Holmes is like, that's great. What are you willing to give me for it? And they're like, well, we'll give you the 10, right? We'll swap first round picks. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, what else? You're moving up 4 spots. You're going to have to throw in like a future or a current mid-round pick. So hypothetically next year's 3rd round pick. But then they say something to Brad Holmes that entices him a little bit. They say, hey, Brad, look, we just brought in Matt Bitch Titch Patricia, right? Nobody likes Fat Trisha. And you know who really doesn't like him? Big Play Darius Slay. Really doesn't like him anymore. And we were thinking, hey, let's go ahead and just trade him back to you guys. How would you feel about that? Well, that's something I'd be willing to do. Trade from 6 back to 10. Pick up a Darius Slay. I know this is hypothetical. I'm playing Madden in my head. And this isn't how things are really going to go. I do play far too much Madden, and I know that I'm just taking shots in the dark. This is about as likely as to happen as the Lions trading J-Mo, okay? So not very likely. So you move out of 6 with Philly, right? Or the other team that I'd really like to see us trade with. And this is an actual possibility because of the personnel changes in the front office with the Tennessee Titans. That's the team I'm going after. It's not because I'm biased. A few of you guys might know my second favorite team is Tennessee. Okay, I'm a huge Titans fan. I've been a Titans fan since they were the Oilers. Like I think Steve McNair is a highly underrated. Should have had his, life not ended in tragedy. Steve McNair, I think, should have been a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. I think he should have been in the argument for possible Hall of Fame material. I mean, he was one of the original Iron Men of my generation. I love Frank Wycheck. Javon Curse in his rookie year was fucking insane, dude. So I'm a big Titans fan. And I think that Tennessee is your dancing partner tonight. I think Tennessee is your dancing partner tonight. They brought in some personnel into their front office that Brad Holmes had worked with when he was in LA. Pardon me. And at one point, there was some communication between the Lions brass and the Titans brass about us making a move to bring in Jeffrey Simmons, which would have been just all of the asses of all of the cats in every pajama on every single cat. All the cats' asses and all the cats' pajamas. I got a little sidetracked there. Sitting here in my driveway, someone's riding by on one of them little scooters and it sidetracked me because I'm kind of a dummy. But so Tennessee calls and they're like, hey, I think they're at 14, somewhere around there. 13 or 14. And they offer you this year and next year, first round picks. The 14th overall pick this year for the 6th, and next year's first round pick. What do? I do it. I do it for 2 reasons. Number 1, it takes us out of the top 10, lets some of the players that you're not really even interested in go, and it lets the board shake out a little bit more, right? It gives us a little bit more leniency. You don't have to feel the pressure of missing out on a Carter or an Anderson, or do you take a Skoronski? Do you take a Devin Witherspoon? No, you let those guys go, and then you're sitting there at 14. At 14, it don't feel so bad taking a Kalijah Kancey. At 14, you don't feel so bad taking Quentin Johnston. Hey, Quentin Johnston, my guy, Quentin Johnston. I think you guys know how I feel about Quentin Johnston. Joey 2 times has completely talked me into Quentin Johnston over the past like 3 months. I was not even entertaining us even considering a wide receiver in the top 2 rounds. And this is before the JMO news. But legit, I was really into taking Quentin Johnston at 18. The dude is good receiver, man. He's athletic. He's got all of the skills that fits our offense. And, you know, Big PP Ben Johnson likes to have all the tools in his toolbox to play with. So then you don't feel so bad, you know, like I said, taking either one of those players, and you can still grab a corner, unless there's a run on corners, and then you're sitting there at 14, and Joey Porter Jr. is still available, but he's like the top corner on the board. Do you then go after a Joey Porter Jr.? There's certain scenarios where I don't necessarily see us needing to take a corner in the first round because there is plenty of corner depth in this draft. I know I'm getting kind of off topic here, fellers. But, you know, Jalen Jones from A&M, dude, in like the late second, third round, the dude's a stud. I've said it before, he's basically Joey Porter Jr. without the fucking name recognition, man. Like, he's got all the skills. He's big, he's lanky, he knows how to play ball. He played at a big time school. I like that as a real sneaky move. And when you move back to 14, gosh, it just gives you all this leeway. The other benefit to the trading out with Tennessee, in my scenario where we get this year and next year's first round pick, right, is with getting next year's first round pick, that gives us obviously 2 picks in the first round, pending any trades, right? And with the 2 picks in the first round, you have a lot of draft capital. Try and trade up and put yourself in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes because, look, guys, I'm a Jared Goff truther, right? I'm a big Jared Goff fan. I love the redemption arc. I love his whole story. But thanks to Daniel Jones somehow finagling the New York Football Giants into paying him $45 fucking million a year to essentially play a cunt hair above Mitchell Trubisky style football. I mean, what in the flying fuck were the Giants thinking, man? That was absolutely insane. So thanks to Daniel Jones, he's completely dog-fucked contract negotiations between the Lions and Jared Goff. Even if Goff were to give us a discount, he ain't going to give us that much of a discount, man. And even if he does want to give us a discount, for us to entertain contract negotiations with him, that means that he had to have at least a relatively successful season, which means he would then have to get a little bit more money. And I mean, shit, man, I'm not willing to pay Jared Goff no $50 fucking million a year, man. I'm sorry, dude, but you're good, but you're not $50 fucking million a year good. I'm your biggest fan over here, man. And I couldn't, like, I'd cap Goff at 40 mil. You're good, but you ain't got no cannon. You're good, but you ain't got no, wheels on you, dude. Like, it's kind of funny to watch you lumber up and down the goddamn field, right? Like you're good, but you ain't $50 fucking million good. So by accruing a second or a first round pick in next year's draft, that gives us 2, that gives us leverage, that gives us capital to move up. And who knows, maybe even if we do trade with Tennessee, hypothetically, that first round pick becomes the first overall pick and you don't even have to trade, right? Excuse me. I can't stop burping. I just think that would be about the perfect scenario because, and this is my rationale behind Tennessee wanting to trade up, is they really screwed the pooch on Malik Willis last year. Now, they didn't screw the pooch by taking him in the first round. And anybody who thought that we should take Malik Willis in the first round, you're a fucking idiot. That's how that goes. But they have no future franchise quarterback. They have an aging Ryan Tannehill. AR-15 might be their guy, man. They might get a little, a little antsy in their pantsy and need to get up there and get their guy. I mean, Brad Holmes might be putting out a lot of smoke signals to other franchises, indicating that we might take a player that they're very interested in. Because when we're sitting right there at 6, and there isn't any necessary player, there goes out of the scooter person, there it goes again. And there isn't really a player that we need right there, you don't need to go and get a corner. You don't need to go and get Jalen Carter because hopefully he won't even be there. And secondly, he ain't worth it. But Tennessee might want to go up to 6 and get AR-15. And I'd happily take their 14th overall pick. And next year's first round pick. That's the only way that's going to happen, is a lot of capital. Because to move from 14 to 6 is going to take a lot of capital. That's probably going to be about it. I didn't expect this live stream to go this long. And to the few of you that turned out and showed up, I think that's pretty cool. Ain't really got much else to say other than I'm really excited about the draft. I'm really fucking pumped about it. This is like Christmas in the middle of summer for me, man. I know it's spring, but still, I fucking love the draft. I've been a big fan of the draft ever since. You see, so when I first graduated high school, I graduated in 06, right? So, and I think 06 was when NFL Network launched, either 05, 06, somewhere around there. And they were like the first team, like television broadcast to like cover the combine and all of the pre-draft stuff like extensively. And dude, being that it was like my first time being out of school, I had like all of this time on my hands, and I still lived at home with my folks, and they had NFL Network. And because it was part of like their cable package, because NFL Network was brand new at the time, right? So like a bunch of people got it for like, I don't want to say free because you were paying for it, but it was just included in a bunch of packages, right? So I started watching this NFL Network, and oh my God, it was the most insane thing I have ever, like, it was one of the most addictive things I've ever experienced in my life. And I've tried a lot of different drugs, man. But like they started in and it got to be combine time. And I just needed that football fix because I was I still am a huge junkie for football, man. And I started getting that itch. And all of a sudden, here's this NFL Network with all this NFL combine coverage, draft analysis. Oh my God, you couldn't get me away from it. It could be said that that's why I stopped going to college my freshman year of community college, the like half a semester that I fucking went, because school is never for me, guys. Never was for this cat. Never gonna be for this cat. So I started watching NFL Network, man, and I just fell in love with the whole process of the combine, all of the rumors, all of the like climbing up boards, dropping down boards. That's why I love doing the mock draft so much. Man, this is what's up, dude. I'm so hyped about tonight. I love watching the draft. I love the first round. I love the second and third rounds. The backer rounds, I like to keep it on in the background, but I don't watch it as extensively. I mean, I got a whole plan. This is literally tonight. Tonight is legit. You can't see my knife hands over here. I've been chopping at you guys because the camera's so up close. This is literally the reason why I took the whole week off of work. Was for tonight. I took this entire week off of work just for tonight. And everybody at work knows exactly that it's draft time. Last year, man, oh, dude, it was hilarious. Them cats at work were like they'd never seen nothing like it when I came in after we drafted Hutch and JMO. They ain't never seen nothing like that before. They thought I was fucking nuts, dude. And I'm like, bro, you don't even understand. So tonight it's gonna be wild, man. I got a couple cases of fucking beer ready to get going, and and just so you guys know, I don't know if you can see him back there. Yeah, Bush or Miller Lite and let's see go there. We got High Life and Miller Lite because we don't drink Anheuser-Busch products in this house, and that's a fact. So got some beers, gonna order some pizza. Me and Hat and Boobs are gonna chill and watch the draft. I'll probably upload my first round take after first round take tomorrow morning sometime, maybe, because the weather's not looking so great, so I probably won't be able to play in the yard much, and that kind of sucks, but whatever. It's the draft time. First round. Let's fucking go, you guys. Let's fucking go. Drop a comment down below what you guys think we should do. Sit at 6, Trade up and go after Will Anderson, or trade out at 6. I'm a big fan of trading out or sitting tight and drafting somebody kind of obscure, kind of out of somebody kind of obscure, kind of out of Northwestern, somebody kind of like a Peter Skronsky. So, all right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Have a good rest of the night. Let's watch the draft, dude. I'm so fucking hype about the draft. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Stay out of trouble and get out of here.